And last is the Muslim. He is taught that he is special. And that if you don't believe what he believes, then you're going to hell. This methodology created hate, separation between human beings, racism, religionism, self-righteousness. You see, in order for the leaders to remain leaders, they must have followers. So they must concentrate on removing the possibility of all of you being equal on any level. Because then you'd be standing beside them. With me? Yes. So they can't tell you that the journey is from beast to man to God. They tell you that it was from God to man to beast, and that they are the shepherd that will lead the flock back to God. And at the same time, God is omnipresent. He's present, according to them, to all of you. But you need an imam or a reverend or a Kohen or rabbi or a Swami to lead you to God, who is omnipresent. You are God. When you start to think and feel like a God, you will do godly things. God can't hate his creation. God can't hate other human beings. God can't hate animals. The reason why nature is at work, not just here on these shores, but all over the world, is because the Most High, as you say, God, has been angered at the dealings of our children, the human, those that have become human and act like human beings, divide, they create suffering, they create hate, they create situations that resulted in Tupac and Biggie Small's death. And I'm talking about two prevalent individuals, but this is all over the world, you know. If I was in Europe, I could have two names there to talk about. And if I was in China, I could have two names there to talk about. And if I was in India, I could have two names there. And so in Africa. There is a war going on in the universe. You with me? Somebody is versing the unity of humans and the journey back to godliness. The scrolls that are out for you. I know you say, there's a whole lot of books coming out, Pop. I simply repeat a cliche. You asked for it. You said that you were tired of the games. Tired of the lies and the charlatans and the pimps and the con artists. You wanted to know the truth. The truth can be bitter, but it's the truth. And when you open that door, you're hooked. You're hooked on truth. You know what comes with it? Hate. hate you for the truth instead of loving you for the truth. They hate when you tell them the truth. When you say to them, well, let's discuss Jesus, really. I mean, let's do it by using the Bible. Not philosophy or opinions or interpretations or scholar translations. Let's use the Bible. And then you ask simple questions, like who are they talking to? And if it says now man has become like one of us, then who is he created in the image and after the likeness of? How can you say in Genesis 3, now man has become like one of us, and Genesis 1, we created man in our image and after our likeness? Then whose image and likeness was he in Genesis 1 if he didn't become in the image and after the likeness of God until Genesis 3? They go, shut up, you blaspheming demon. You must be the Antichrist. You're out to do bad. Say, no, I'm out to right the wrong.
That God was in heaven having a conversation with other gods who said they're going down to earth because man is acting the fool down there. And they're going to babble their tongues, right? So they came to earth. We didn't get around to from where yet. They came to earth and they made it so everybody started breaking up into different dialects. Right? If they had one language there that was broken up into different dialects, then that language must have been a combination of all those dialects. So when God was speaking, you would have heard Arabic as Syriac, Hebrew, Amharic, Chaldean, Akkadian. You would have heard the language. This is why they say cuneiform or wedges. And when you all go all the way back to Sanskrit, you find wedges. When you go back to Chinese, you find wedges. When you go back to ancient Ham, called Egypt today, you find wedges. When you go back to Samaria, you find wedges where people simply tapped on stone. All of it was the same language, the language of God, that has now been broken up into small languages who all are fighting over whose language is the oldest. So, God decided to come to earth and unbabble the tongues by putting the language back together again. No doubt about it. They can't deny it. It's a reality, y'all. What we do is real. They're trying to figure out a language. They created their own language, a whole language. And they did it at the same time that a plot to introduce Ebonics from ebony in it, which is as racist as you can get. We don't need an ebony language, a white language, or a black language. We need a human language. And we need a language that God spoke, so we can what? Speak to God. The reason why Muslims are going on pilgrimages and dying in Mecca, and Christians are dying all over the place while they're still praying, is because they're not speaking to God. They're speaking at God. Oh God, Ya Allah, Ha Elohim. With me? So, you've been given back a 25,000-year-old language, resurrected. And it's going to be easy for you to remember it. Learning is the process of remembering things. That's just part of it. Remember? When they come, and they are going to come, you must be prepared. These little kids are starting now to learn the language of God so that they can talk to God and make God their personal Savior. You can't make God your personal Savior if you can't sit down and have a personal conversation with God. You see? How many of the women here with children eventually want their children to be speaking that language of God? How many women don't want their children to come up here on the stage eventually? Because you know this crowd is going to expand from year to year. No doubt about it. More is going to be happening. How many, I say, of you women want your children doing that? How many young men want their sons to be proud if they have found themselves? I am not going to sit here and ask you, can we do it? Because can is gone. Done is in. Did is done. And we did it. They cannot match the powers that are being given to us, the guidance and the protection. Only those who worked here at the Holy Land really know how the Netudu or the Elohim, whatever title makes you happy, how they were here to make all this happen. Some of you folks haven't been in a year, am I right? Is it different? Is it normal? Not in the least. You're making this happen. This is your power. The powers of the Most High working through you. When you get away from their silliness and their tributes and their hate and their separation, you're going to find a divine working. You've been pushed into the light. You with me? And told the light is right. And told that God created the light. Were you told that? Where was God when he created the light? God was in darkness when he created the light, yet we're made to believe that darkness represents the devil. I'm not talking about black and brown in color. I'm talking about the state. We're made to believe that darkness is evil and that light is good. When in actuality, in order for you to get a good night, a restful night, a peaceful night's sleep, the first thing you do is cut off the lights. You remove the chaos in the house that distracts and surrounds you. You cut down the radio. You know, he is so smooth, the devil, that I'm saying he got radios now where the lights never go out. In your house, there's never darkness. There's a clock radio, a VCR, with a dial for the time. Your watch is lit up. Everything is sped up for you. You understand what I mean by that? They want you to eat fast food. They want you to get your clothes clean in 3 hours. Pick up your pictures in 1 hour. Have your baby and out the hospital the same day. You with me? They'll miticize your car for you in a couple of minutes. Same day paint jobs. Chicken pot pies. Frozen food. I got to get more megabytes in my computer so I can get in faster. We're looking around and saying, boy, the kids are growing so. You're allowing them to speed up time that you will not wake up in time. Take your time. You got it, believe it or not. Like the rose in the dandelion, you know. You've been parading like a rose for a long time. Well, the weather is changing. The seasons are changing. And the rose, I don't care how beautiful it may have been made to look, the rose is going to die. And the dandelion, simple but permanent. You are a dandelion. Simple but permanent. You ain't going anywhere no time soon. You were around before clocks. You had to be because you invented the clock. So whoever invented the clock had to be there before the clock was. Whoever came up with the word time, minute, second, hour. Note they say second and not first. Why is the first moment in time a second and not a first? That's because if you go to prehistory, and history is time, if there's a prehistory or before history, then there has to be a first. And then when there's a history, there becomes a, so they call the first point in their time a second, but they're not concerned with yours. When you get the clock working again, well, you do know why. I mean, because the first shall be last and the last shall be. I'll be here when
it's been set up for you. The beacons are being put in place. The runway, for lack of a better word. A way for them to know by the signs in the sky where you are. The same way the pyramids were set up by Skipperu, Sun, Khufu, aligned with the Orion star constellation, the Orion belt, just above Sirius star constellation from whence you came. The alignment on earth must be set up again in order for the statement made by that man Jesus, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So we must duplicate the stars of the heaven, that the kingdom, what is a kingdom? Is there a kingdom without people? Is there a kingdom without a king? So Jesus said, Christian, thy kingdom come. He asked that the kingdom from there come to earth and be set up on earth as it is in heaven. And as we look up into the heavens, we see the Orion star constellation. Our first duty is to bring it down out of the heavens to earth in the beacon of the Orion Belt 3 pyramids. Then will the elders look down and say, there's my children, let's go down and redeem them. They have been pawned into the hands of mischief makers. But before they come, zilzal, the earth must be shaken
with a great shock. Fear of the Most High must be put back into the hearts of all human beings. The self-righteous, the non-believers, you watch them every day on television. They didn't care about the day and time. They was concerned about that 9 to 5, that job, that vacation, fixing up their house, getting their car, getting their kids in college, getting a good education. Nobody on the world, on this planet, was caring any longer. So man and woman and beast had to be brought back to the realization that there are powers in the universe. One of them is simply called a tornado. You know who controls the tornado? The woman controls the tornado. She stirs the pot of beans. And if you look over your mother, sister, wife, or daughter's shoulder while she's cooking, you see she stirs and she creates a tornado in the pot. You see, the forces work together in gender. She gets the stirring, and then she tastes it. Nah. What am I going to say? Nah. Ain't ready yet. Maybe it needs a little more salt. A little more pepper. Oh, overdid it. Gotta mix a little water. Here comes the blood. As our great mother, nature, stirs this planet and creates these tornadoes that are picking up people's houses and cars and trucks and toppling bridges, all those self-righteous people on the planet who think that their Jesus is going to come out of the sky for them, or that their Allah is going to save them, or Yahweh, are finding that they're standing on television on top of the roof of a house holding a wet dog. I mention that for a reason. A wet dog that they give more love to than their other human beings. Dogs they set up hotels for, dogs they send to get groomed, dogs that they're feeding steak while other humans in their neighborhoods are starving to death. So mother whipped them up a little brew. And they're standing up on their houses on the roof saying, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Everything I had. See, look, there it is, going down the road. I saw my next door neighbor, his house went that way. The lady around the corner, she didn't make it. You know what's happening around the world now? When you hear a tornado, you go, uh-oh. When you hear rain, you think flood. Right? A fear of nature. Hey, y'all. The most sophisticated military weaponry in the world couldn't help none of those folks with them floods. The war of the world is on. People are being reminded that you ain't as bad as you think you are. You with me? Y'all know we have a 12 o'clock ceremony in our stuff where the men are the sons of the night as the women are the
daughters of the day. A little backwards from Islam with them. It's vice versa because they're so confused. It's such an illusion. It's all confused. We have a ritual for the men. It doesn't mean women can't participate, but we don't have babies. And we ain't volunteering. At least I don't think y'all. And we will play the drum from 12 o'clock midnight until sunrise, when Tafel prayer will go on here. Does any man have the time? All the time in the world, time? No, we got some schedule to keep. Y'all know about that CP time. Come on. 10 to 10:40, thank you. Well, I don't know how long you want me to stay here, but at 11:45, we have fireworks, which should take us to 12, upon which we will light up on that side with the drums. We know that the weather, the night weather, is going to take the tone down. The drum that is supposed to be sitting up there, you know, the devil gets busy. Came in from Africa. Sisters worked hard to get it here, 6 feet. And they kept it in Kennedy Airport because it came from Africa. It had to be sprayed. I understand that. If you know what Ebola is, you want them to spray everything that comes from everywhere. I ain't having no problem with it. But we got together, the brothers here, and made large enough drums for us to keep the heartbeat going all night. It may not have the sound you want today, next time around maybe, but all the men that plan to be a part of the ceremony, and I can't believe that all of y'all are going to make it, but those that do will line up at a certain point around the corner near the staircase so that we can all at least beat the drum. Those who want to participate in becoming protectors of the night. Protectors of the women and the children. But they protect us by day. We will start that right after the fireworks. All the brothers who want to be a part, let me see in hands. Understand that if you don't make it to the drum, either you fell asleep before sunrise or just too many people to get to that drum as we all just went boom with one beat. And you understand? Is there anything else y'all want to talk to me about before they start the fireworks at 11:45? Love you too. I'm gonna tell you something else. Somebody up there, a family of people, really love you. They didn't send me from the east here. A whole lot further. A whole lot further. You've been lost here for a long time. I watch the media, I'm watching movies that these people are creating, like MIB, Men in Black, Independence Day, where some people want to blow up the president's house and chase the president around. Other fools go up on the building and get zapped. Arrival, where people who are creatures who look like people snap their legs backwards. What's the other Mars attack, where little green iridescent creatures and android women just zap up the government? Fifth Element, where they seem to be looking right over our shoulder. And I see a lot of anger on the part of
people in Hollywood. However, our government won't concentrate on how much this man has to hate the president to create a movie where he blows up the president, kills his wife, blows up the White House, blows up the city, takes those buses and cars down the streets. You understand? Makes desolate whole parts of the world. Whoever wrote that movie, now that is a dangerous individual. That is an angry man or woman. That person needs an ass whipping. Because that person is being allowed to become rich in America by making movies in America on how to destroy the government and the White House, and he thinks destruction. But he passes himself off as a producer. That's the devil. For a man to go all the way out to make a movie, shoot it in Mexico, and make like it's in Puerto Rico, where this really exists, and speak about cloning and duplicating with the intentions of undermining people on the planet and taking over. Whoever wrote that movie, Arrival, is a dangerous person. Is a dangerous person. Never look at it that way. Somebody wants to go to Las Vegas and blow up out of all the places there. Why Luxor? There's a whole lot of places I'm talking about the Mars attack, based around Egypt and Luxor. Why was the Fifth Element based around Egypt? Why was Stargate based around the destruction of God Ra, who has gathered a group of people here and was grooming them to prepare them to take them through a vortex to another planet where they were living pretty peaceful until someone broke the code. You hear me? And then set out to destroy Ra by portraying him as a grave. Something not found in anybody's history. It's all right for you to go into our way of life and desecrate it. If I messed around and made Jesus a little big-headed man with gray eyes and nailed him on an ice cream cone instead of a cross, you wouldn't think that was very funny. Now would you? But it's all right for you to step into my culture, make movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark, where you're out to destroy some vessel that was made by our hands, that we can simply dial the radio and talk to our fathers and mothers from beyond the stars and turn it into a big joke. But I can't do that. I'm a bad man. You're bad for listening to me. All together, we just bad, bad, bad. But it's fun being bad. Because people that's being good ain't getting nothing but some bad times. We're being bad, but heck, we're out here having a damn good time. I don't want to go into indigenous nations, sovereignty, I don't want to go on a long subject because we are working hard, but we have accomplished some phenomenal things this year as a nation. I don't mean as a nation, the Nation of Islam, the nation of gods and earth. I ain't talking about fake nations. I am talking about, I mean that. When I say fake, I mean it seriously. I'm talking about a real nation, our own nation, right here. Right here. With our own passports and our own tax system. Where no one tells us what to do but us. This is a reality. When you set up your own country like the Pope did, the Vatican, inside Rome. Being indigenous, you can do that. That book is going to open it up. That's going to be door one for you to see where I'm getting ready to go. And all you have to do is help. Not help by no money. Help by being strong enough that when I say, tell them you're more. Because they use the word more, you say I am more. And don't punk out. Tell them that they can't give you your rights. You can't give me no rights. You can't emancipate me with some proclamation. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I was never, nor ever, a slave. I was kidnapped, and that's a federal offense. I was sold, and whomever buys stolen goods is an accessory after the fact, and that is a federal crime. I will not stoop to putting a price on my head by accepting respiration or apology. You cannot apologize to me for what you have done to me. And you can't pay me for what you have done to me. You with me? Because your emancipation proclamation does not apply to me. Because I was never a slave. I was, and anyone who purchased me is guilty of, and I will take that to the international courts, not national. But I can't walk in there alone. Do you hear me? I can't walk in there alone. Or out here, I have reached 52 years of age. Sad that so many people didn't want me to, and so many still don't. They'll get over it, a couple of aspirins. Maybe Doc will be here for a while. But what we are doing and doing together is for those behind us. Those before us has already fallen. Those behind us, the youth, they've got to make their own decisions on their life. Because those we trusted betrayed us. The system that you created out of our laws, you use against me. You say, in God we trust, and don't ask me the name of my God. You take me into courts and don't teach me the rules of the game.
You ask me to plead to you when you just stated, in God we trust. How do I plead to you if it's in God we trust? I think God says, judge not, lest you be judged. So how can man judge a man?
That's right.
There's a young man, and it was a very sad thing to me. I don't care how you felt. A young man, and I watched family after family of so-called humane, civilized people call for his death. Who am I talking about? Timothy McVeigh. I think 25 years old. Well, he killed 160 odd people. And first we got to find out, is he crazy? Anybody that kills 168 people, women and children, men, has to be crazy. You can't be sane and go blow up a building like that and kill people. But these people actually got on public television and was satisfied. They cried in joy because they were going to kill this kid. Hey, we're in a bad state. A kid that they see as so intelligent that he outsmarted the intelligent community, because that was an FBI building. He was that smart as a lone bomber to plot all of that and then to drive a car that gets a flat tire. Think about that. He's so smart that he takes a car and drives it and gets a flat tire on the roadside, and that's where they arrest him. Somebody's playing with your intelligence. And to him, they were trying to get human beings to transform into demons. For me and you to want to say, yeah, kill Timothy McVeigh. Meanwhile, the same group of people want to justify Waco and Ruby Ridge. Well, we had to go in there and bomb up babies because this guy, David Koresh, says he was Jesus. I'm still trying to figure out, what does David Koresh being Jesus have to do with the government if religion is separate from state? So why are they out there worrying about this man claiming to be Jesus? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because they are afraid that he is some kind of cult that is going to tell everybody, like Jim Jones did in Guyana, to do what? To kill themselves. And because they're afraid that David Koresh could coerce these people into killing themselves, and they couldn't have that, they went and killed them. The reason why they destroyed Waco is to destroy David Koresh and the possibility of a suicide cult. So they went and burned them up. Something wrong with that? Out in California not long ago, a group of people, Heaven Gate, supposedly, all committed suicide with the same kind of Nikes on, and the same kind of sweatsuit, and the same kind of blanket, and the same kind of poison, except for a few that might have been a little difficult to die, so they had plastic bags on their head. Hello? A couple of them had to put plastic bags on their head to commit suicide, while all the rest who drank the same amount of poison climbed up in a bunk bed with sneakers on. I want to ask you a question. How many of you people go to bed with your sneakers on? How many of you people would go out and buy one of the most expensive pairs of sneakers, namely Nike, with me? Just to die in them. Now, if you're going to die, you can go to Bata, or you can go to Walmart, or Kmart, or a dollar store, and buy a pair of them old green Johnnies where the sole comes off after one block, and most of y'all wore when y'all was a kid and forgot. I know I had a pair of them. Right? Why would you go buy the most expensive sneakers you could find if you don't intend to ever walk on them? That makes sense? Or did you think that the extraterrestrials you were going to meet were going to say, oh, shit, that nigga's got on a Nike. Niggas is alright. You gotta get on up in here. Y'all ain't come with me. What am I getting ready to say? Hello? Somebody murdered some people because they wanted this cult, as they call it, out of that highfalutin suburban neighborhood. All you gotta do is watch the movie Birds and you see how it happens. A comedy that really takes place where a bunch of people look over at a group of people like us and start to assume that we are going to commit suicide because I say so. You know what I'm saying? First of all, they don't know us, obviously. You with me? And with that, the best thing they can do with the public is say, oh, out there, anything there, they must be like Heaven Gate. Heaven Gate was Christians. Jim Jones, Christian. David Koresh, hey, I'm not a Christian. And you know why it's easy for Christians to commit suicide? You want to know why? Because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. They made it a part of their doctrine that if you commit suicide, you go to heaven. It's a good thing because Jesus came here, according to them, and basically committed suicide. Because he knew if he stayed in Jerusalem, that they was going to kill him. And he told the disciples, I know what they're going to do to me. And the disciples said, well, you know, why don't we just jump, go to another city. No. The hour is coming. They say, yeah, that's the point. So he says, no, I got a better idea. Let's go sit up in the upper room and have some bread and wine and discuss how they're going to kill me. And then we'll leave there. We're going to go to our garden. Y'all take a little nap. I'm going a little further, talk to my father. Let him know I'm coming home soon. You know, like, I'm out in the street and I got to call home. So I go to a telephone and say, yo, man, I got to check in. Call home, yo, Ma. I know I'm supposed to be home at 12, but I'm going to come about 1, maybe. So Jesus goes in the garden. The disciples go to bed. He goes a little further in the garden, calls his father, says, oh, my father, if it's possible, could you let this cup pass by me? Not if I will, but, you know, the thou will be done. His father called to them and said, no, nigga, you're going to die. You went down there to die. I gave birth to you so that I can watch them beat you up, humiliate can watch them suffer in the sun, sweat, because I love them. Well, when you start teaching a child that philosophy, there's a great possibility that he'll grow up and become a David or a Jim Jones. When you teach a philosophy to young men that they are supposed to lay their head on the bosom of Jesus, you breed a certain mentality.
That's right, that's right.
I say,
Like it or not, in Christianity, break it down into two groups. All the women lay your head on the bosom of Jesus. And all the men lay your head on the bosom of Mary. Now this makes genetic sense to me. But for all the women to have their head on the bosom of Mary and all the men to have their head on the bosom of Jesus sounds a little, could we say, strange? You with me? So when you have doctrines like that taught to you when you are a baby, you don't have a chance. And then the world has stacked this against you. So when you come back and say, I'm a God, they go, what do you mean by that? What does it sound like? You don't want to tell me what the word God means, isn't it? I didn't come here speaking this language, did I? You ain't no God, you know I'm God. That's why in American education system, I can read about Egypt, and you got Osiris, you got Horus, you got Ra, you got Anubis, you got all of them as gods. And as time has proven, and I'm before time, that was and is me. Because I can go to Egypt and look up and see me. The way you go in the Christian church and look up and see you. And I ain't got nothing against you going to the Christian church and looking up and seeing you and worshiping you. So why do you have a problem with me looking over there at that statue and worshiping me? Why am I some kind of cult? Some kind of ritual or demonic thing? Because I want to worship in the image of myself. And you know what? We'd get along a lot better. Because I respect you for who you are. And you respect me for who I am. And as long as we don't get into a conversation on the origin of everybody, you ain't got no problem. And I won't bring it up if you don't bring it up. I wouldn't have to be talking about it now if you didn't bury it. You know it, when you tell a person don't touch it, that's exactly what they're going after. Now you gave us Islam and we was whitewashed there. I don't mean color-wise, I mean mentally. You gave us Christianity, whitewashed. Now we Hebrew Israelites, Israelite church. Some of us became highly Christians. Some niggas walk around with a bunch of little knots back here. All the highly Christians got braids, because most Hindus have straight hair. But the Negroes in Manhattan, they had a little bush and knots. But they were hidey-hidey-ing, like Cab Calloway. They were hidey-hidey-ing. And now, after all the years of me being kidnapped, I finally open the book and find something that relates to me that's going to make me a better person. And you oppose it? I find something that will make me stop using crack. How many of y'all use crack now? How many of y'all drink to drunkenness now? How many of you women are walking around whoring now? How many of y'all are going out to steal and take things from people now? How many of y'all are concerned about reading and researching everything you can about everybody? How many of y'all have been encouraged to stay in school and finish college and to get degrees? Why is there something wrong with that philosophy? What do you want me to teach? You want me to teach hate white people? Burn down America? Where I live? And I'm standing? You know how dumb I'd have to be to soar the branch that I'm standing on? We ain't no militia. You created militia. Because it's in the Constitution. You went on and said, well, if you don't like what's going on, get a well-regulated militia. And you messing around trying to amend the flag, you better get that out of there. When you say there's over 5,000 militia groups in the country and you worry about who steps on the flag, you better space that because it's growing. And I don't have a militia group. What you giving me? What are we being given that is going to change us as a people for the better? Direction. A lot of you young boys are pulling your doggone pants up and tying your sneakers thanks to the waffle. We're not going to be a part of the hip-hop world. We're going to take over the hip-hop world and make it a message, because it's a vehicle to reach the youth. When you look around out here, all this building, most of this building out here was young brothers and sisters who came here to help. I'm talking about from 30 down. Of course, there was some old fogies out here, but most of it was young people, young men and women who painted all this stuff. You know why? Look up there. If he wasn't making that graffiti, he would have been on the mortar or somewhere in the subway, spraying in the subway. But because we create a vehicle for him to get this out of his system and still do something creative, he's here. How many people here right now are under 30 years old? Look at here. Talking about we are the world, looking to a brighter day, and we can't let them turn us around. We have sampled every delicacy that has been put before us, we taste it. Right? Now we have our own. Tomorrow, maybe when you start to make your Mugaraj, the temple is not totally complete. It'll be deeper than that by next year, way before that. But when you do make the ritual of alignment back with your ancestors, remember, it's yours. When the Muslims talk about Mecca, you say, I got my own Mecca. The Jews start talking about Jerusalem, say, I got my own Jerusalem. And people ain't throwing rocks at each other and fighting over it. I got my own holy city. I have my own prayer. I have my own stuff. And why can't I have my own stuff? You got your stuff. And as hard as I tried to fit in your stuff, you wouldn't let me in anyway. And now when I break off and do my own thing, you are welcome. Regardless of who you are, you can come on into our world and be a part. You can bring your family up in this world. I don't care who you are, blonde hair, blue eyes, green hair, purple eyes. I ain't got no time for it. It hurts people. If I hurt any human being, I'm hurting myself. And we in the Nawapian nation don't have the time for that crap. We gotta prepare for our journey. And if we fail to make the journey because of our own weaknesses and shortcomings, and the craft has to keep on going, we've got to survive. And we will survive. But we will be in control of our destiny from this day on. And when you talk to people, you got to let them know that you are in control of your destiny. Because there was nothing wrong in history when they said, give me liberty or give me. So don't make it a crime when I say it. Without the gimme. Without the gimme. You can't give me anything. I am that I am. I always was. I was here before the Bible. Remember that. I was one of the us that said, let us make man.